Good day, this is Luke from Random Story Bros, and today I will be reading My Carpool Driver Hasn't Stopped Driving for 12 Hours Straight Now. Hello Reddit. I've recently bought a used car and found some interesting notes, or rather a journal, tucked inside the passenger seat's cover. There's a lot of pages and I'm a bit too lazy to transcribe and translate all of it. Plus, it would go way past Reddit's character limit. But here's the first 12 hours of this journal. I've been using carpool services as a passenger on a regular basis for the last 6 years. Never really had any issues. I've met some great people through the years. Some rides were spent chatting and laughing non-stop. Others were spent in silence, but it was always fine in the end. Even this one started out alright. I had just spent a few days at my mom's and was going back to where I lived with my girlfriend. It's just a 1 hour and 30-minute ride, so it should have been pretty quick. As I am writing this line, it has been about 23 hours and some messed up thing happened, and I am beyond freaked out. I'll first go through what happened until now, and then I'll try to keep a journal and make an entry every few hours to document what's happening. To whoever finds this, please forward this to 8th of the 2nd, 4 p.m. I met with Henry on the carpool parking right outside the highway. He seemed like a nice dude, and he had great views on the carpool website. 4.8 out of 5. We chatted about what we always chat about in the first few minutes when you share a ride. What do you do? Where are you from? What were you doing in this city? Where are you going? Etc. Things were going rather smooth. He's a paramedic, took a vacation to visit his family, and now he's on his way back home. 08:02, 5 p.m. After about 50 minutes, I started dozing off. Seeing your family can be exhausting. I asked Henry if he was okay with me sleeping for the remainder of the ride. He said sure. 08:02, 8 p.m. I woke up and asked Henry how much time until we arrive. He didn't respond. I looked at the time and asked if he had stopped along the way, because we should have arrived at least 1 hour and 30 minutes ago. He didn't respond. I tried snapping my fingers, talking louder, clapping my hands in front of his face. No reaction whatsoever. He was looking dead ahead with a faint smile on his face. At least I think that's a smile. You know that face people make and you're not sure if they're smiling or not? He was doing something like that. Whatever I said, whatever I did, he did not respond. The sun starting to slowly descend near the horizon. There haven't been any signs for a few minutes to tell me where in the hell we were, so I tried to look it up on Google Maps. Of course, there was no signal whatsoever. 08:02, 9 p.m. After spending about an hour trying to talk to him, trying to call everyone in my contact list on my phone, trying to call the police, trying to send text messages, nothing worked. It was starting to get dark and I had to get out. I had the idea of trying to get the help of another car. There was one to our right. I pressed the button to lower the window, but it did nothing. I banged on the window and tried waving my hands to get the attention of the driver to our right, but he wouldn't react. Then I noticed the driver was looking straight ahead with that smile on his face, the same as Henry. I looked behind us, and the other people in every car had the exact same expression as Henry. 08:02, 11 p.m. Henry was still looking dead ahead, and so were the other drivers around us. I spent the last couple of hours trying to rationalize what was happening. Was it a kidnapping? Where was he driving to? When would he stop? But more importantly, why was I still here? An idea came to mind. I was hesitant at first, but the only thing I could do now was try to get out of the car, by any means necessary. I'm a pretty big guy, bigger than Henry for sure, but besides crashing the car and dying in the car accident, I don't know what it would accomplish. Plus, something just ain't right about this guy, and I don't want to find out what it is. My only other option was to get out of the car. Of course, the door was locked. I had tried it a while ago, but what if I hit the window with my elbow? I know I could break it if I wanted to, but then what? Would I jump out on the road and break all my bones because of the speed we're going at? Would I get run over by another car? The chances of survival are still higher than crashing the car. Who am I fooling? I was just too afraid to hit Henry, or whoever this is. There wasn't really any other options besides just staying there and waiting it out. I put my elbow against the window, slowly moving it to gain momentum, and stopped. I was about to die. Deep inside me, my instincts went haywire. My guts telling me that if I hit this window, I was dead. I didn't understand why I reacted like this until I turned my face around. He was staring at me now. Its smile was gone. Its eyes were wide open. So open I could swear its eyelids were completely gone behind the eyes. Its head was facing me, but its torso staying perfectly still, facing the wheel. I could read into its eyes that if I hit the window, he would make me regret it. It took me a moment before I dared breaking eye contact. While I slowly looked around, I realized they were all looking at me. All the drivers had their heads facing me. The ones on our side of the road, even the ones in front of us, were staring at me with their heads turned 180. The other ones on the other side of the road all turned their heads towards me as they sped by. Slowly, I lowered my arm, and soon they all turned their gaze back to the road in front of them. After catching my breath and processing all of this for a while, I tried talking to it again. Who are you? What are you? Where are we going? All my inquiries were met with silence. Nothing I could do triggered any reaction whatsoever. I wanted to try poke him, but I never dared. 08:03, 1 a.m. I was starting to get hungry. I had taken a sandwich with me, but it was in the trunk of the car, with my other bags. The only thing I have with me is my computer bag, with the computers and this notebook. 08:03, 3 a.m. In all these hours spent in the car, I realized the only thing I hadn't done yet was trying to open the glove box, thinking there could be maybe some biscuits or anything to eat and drink in it. I opened it. I screamed. As I opened the glove compartment, a head fell in between my legs. After catching my breath and doing my best to stop freaking out and jumping on my seat, I took a closer look at the decapitated head. It was Henry's head. As I looked up towards the driver's seat, I caught it looking at me with that faint smile of his. It then looked at Henry's head, and its smile widened. It looked back up at me, and then back at the decapitated head. Each time its smile was getting bigger and bigger, until it started laughing hysterically, almost banging his head on the steering wheel multiple times. Suddenly it stopped laughing and went back to staring at the road in front of us, like nothing happened. I have only recounted the first 12 hours so far, and it's not even close to the most disturbing thing that has happened yet. Stay tuned for part 2.
If you're brave enough.